President of the United States. And George Herbert Walker Bush was involved. And it was over the Bay of Pigs. And it was over them trying to, in this pod, there's been some videos passed around over the years and so forth that loaded with a lot of good information. But in there you'll see a story. If you go to the right column on my site, on the front page, scroll down to John F. Kennedy assassination. And it's one of the latter stories by Tom Flacco. We provided Tom a picture of George Herbert Walker Bush 6 minutes after Kennedy gets whacked, standing in front of the book depository store. You remember about 2 or 3 years ago, a French intelligence officer, supposedly a school teacher, releases a living color videotape of Dallas, Texas. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, that video scans from a different angle, and all of a sudden, to the left, it stops. The next 2 frames is that picture. It was a birthday present from French intelligence to Tom Heneghan. That was what he contributed to the story, along with other things. Mm-hmm. The videotape didn't go any further. It stopped 2 frames before that. They have complete. There were people on the ground, French intelligence, CIA good guys, on the ground tracking the Jackal, a killer that had tried to assassinate the French president, de Gaulle. They found these killers. They had tracked them to Dallas, Texas, on the day or the day before the murder of John F. Kennedy. George Herbert Walker Bush is standing in front of that book depository store 6 minutes after the death. We also have proof and evidence that he was at a big party at the Murchison's house, Clinton Murchison Sr.'s house in Dallas, Texas, the night before. They were partying. The day after the assassination, everybody ended up back at that house. Clint Murchison was CIA, a Knights Templar banker who, should we say, was the go-between between the illegal part of the CIA and the FBI. Matter of fact, one would want to ask Ted Gunderson why, when Clint Murchison Jr. died, he sat at that house in Dallas, Texas for over a year protecting that house until the estate was eliminated. That was his boss in the underworld, should we say, and why he was selling Stinger missiles to bin Laden, the terrorist, etc., and brokering those. If you go under Ted Gunderson, you'll see that document, internal memorandum, when he was head of the FBI in Los Angeles before he was kicked out of the FBI and put to early retirement because they found out he was diagnosed paranoid schizophrenia because he was holding satanic ceremonies in his FBI office, and his underlings reported him, and they did an evaluation on him, and they kicked him out of the FBI without embarrassment and put him in early retirement.
You also had a recording on your site regarding this information, did you not?
Oh, yeah.
I thought I heard that on there.
Yeah, it's up there where he calls me up and threatens me the next day after he sent a SWAT team in to have me killed after he found out I knew about his Iran-Contra activity with General John Singlaub and the Capitan Indian Reservation, and it turned out to be that Gunderson and others were involved in the murder of Danny Castellero, the reporter, 2 days before in 1991, and in July, it was August the 1st or August the 2nd, 1991, he was killed because I was talking to him. So was Bill McCoy, former Pentagon IG, who tracked one of the Kennedy murderers, who worked with me hand in hand clear up until 1997 when he was killed, exposing the Strassmeyer German connection to the Oklahoma City bombing, and the fact that Jose Padilla, who is in prison right now for supposedly his role in 9/11, was John Doe number 2 of the Oklahoma City bombing. And Jose Padilla was Terry Lynn Nichols, Iran-Contra player's brother-in-law. And Terry Lynn Nichols answered to him and Roger Moore, that owned the gun shop, answered to Ollie North. And Roger Moore and Ollie North, along with Jeb Bush, have yachts parked at Pier 66 in Miami, still hauling cocaine in from Colombia at Pier 66 Miami, but yet nobody will shut it down. And they got a submarine that hauls it up packed with seafood. It's bizarre. Yeah. But anyway.
It is unbelievable how many times the same names of these players come up. It seems like they're like habitual criminals.
They are. They are. It's always the same people at the very top using low-level slime balls like Ollie North and General Singlob and so forth. They've always got somebody within the government protecting them, the Justice Department. It's been that way for years, et cetera. Just, ever since the coup d'etat, and it has been a coup d'etat, it goes back, these Templars have been around since the time of Christ. And, it's just bizarre what has gone on, re-resurrecting after the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And they re-resurrected once again. They're evil. It's an evil satanic occult. And they re-resurrected in the 1100s, late 1100s, and they've, their ultimate goal was, what many of the Christians believe in the book of Revelations and the others, the end-time prophecies of, the mark of the beast, one world government, 666, can't buy or sell, etc. These are the people trying to implement this. This is the George Herbert Walker Bush, the Kissingers, the Rockefellers, the Millmans in America, the Carl Linders in America. Mm-hmm. Overseas, in Israel, the head of the council is the head of the synagogues, the Jewish synagogues worldwide out of Israel. Anzar Ben-Shuri is the head of the council, but yet he parades around as a head rabbi of the Hedron. But yet he's a Knights Templar, baby killer, Satanist, just like these other people are. The current Pope, the head of the Catholic Church, he is one of them, baby killer. Goes around on certain satanic dates doing their orgies and their homosexuality and, the baby killing, blood sucking, all this other. If you go under Satanism and read what Anthony LaVey provided to me and what others in U.S. intelligence over the years that have come close to this have seen and heard. I have a Secret Service agent, former, the protected senior. He was at the Kimball Castle. He saw too much, heard too much, kept his mouth shut. Years later, I happen to have the opportunity through a Mossad agent who hates them, who says, I'm not a Jew, I'm an Israeli. You don't call us Jews. He says that's like George Bush and the Illuminati labeling everybody in America to conquer and divide, right-wing, left-wing, liberals, conservatives. He says, you don't throw the Israelis under the banner of being a Jew. I said, I understand. But he's one of the ones also that introduced me to the Secret Service agent about the blood-sucking and the blood-drinking and the rituals. They perform these rituals, and their rituals, this satanic crap that they do, is so far off the charts, it's unbelievable. But they practice this the way true Christian believers practice their religion.
So let me ask you something. All the people that you speak with, these people that are on the inside or formerly from, the FBI, the CIA, what have you they confirmed to tell you that, yes, this is the New World Order, this is the One World Global Government Plan, and this is why all of this is actually taking place? Or is it just, corruption in general with an agenda? You know what I'm saying?
No, it is organized, and it is organized crime syndicates. But each one of these Templars have their own crime syndicate within their ranks. So, like my ex-in-laws, Leonard Millman, they, it's like a crime syndicate, like the Gambinos, the Castellanos, the different crime syndicates that have been around over the years, different Italian mobs. It's the same thing. The only difference is they're the ones in control of the money. And what they do is they are hidden. They set up these other people in business, like my ex-in-laws, Leonard Millman. He set up different people. He was a generational Satanist, generational crime syndicate. But it is organized under the banner of the Templar bankers, the Knights Templar 100 bankers. It's also known as the Illuminati. And take the Federal Reserve. They are in control of the Federal Reserve, an illegal banking system operating in the United States